function at State House in Entebbe. The 6 separate functions were attended by Ambassador Patrick Mugoya, Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Arthur Kafero, and Ambassador Charles Sentongo, among others.
President Yoweri Museveni has received credentials of 6 new ambassadors and high commissioners from Netherlands, Egypt, United States of America, Japan, Saudi Arabia, and the United Kingdom. The new ambassadors presented their credentials to President Yoweri Museveni at separate functions at State House in Entebbe.
And that by which His Majesty, the King of the Netherlands, accredited.
The new ambassador of Netherlands, Her Excellency Mrs. Karen Boven, conveyed personal greetings to the President from the King of Netherlands, Wilhelm Alexander Klaus George Ferdinand. President Museveni told the ambassador of Netherlands that her country is rich in spite of its size and the big population. Netherlands is the biggest producer of milk in the whole world, producing 10 billion liters per year. The president said that Uganda will soon overtake the Netherlands in milk production. Ambassador Karen Boven pledged to use their milk production experience in the Netherlands to support Uganda in its work to grow and expand milk production in the country. While receiving credentials of the new ambassador from the Arab Republic of Egypt, His Excellency Ashraf Mohammed Nabanswilam, President Museveni expounded on the importance of focusing on people's interests rather than their identity in leadership. The president asked the new ambassador to invite Egyptian investors in agriculture, for example, fruit processing, textiles, electronic and machinery. Ambassador Ashraf Mohammed Nabanswilam conveyed regards to the president from President al-Sisi of Egypt and said that President al-Sisi trusts his leadership. Afterwards, President Yoweri Museveni received credentials of the new ambassador of the United States of America, USA, Her Excellency Natalie E. Brown.
Ambassador Extraordinary, Plenipotentiary of the United States of America.
The president told Ambassador Brown that he was happy to be part of the African Liberation Movement. Mr. Museveni used the occasion to market Uganda's firefighting vehicle called African Fire Heater that was designed and made in Uganda by the Army using indigenous technology. Ambassador Brown revealed that her main goal is to expand the already existing good cooperation between Uganda and the United States. She commended the contribution of Uganda to peace building and stability in Somalia. The new Japanese ambassador to Uganda, His Excellency Fukuzawa Hidemoto, while presenting his credentials to the president, conveyed the warmest greetings from the Emperor of Japan, Naruhito. Ambassador Fukuzawa, who was in private sector before being called for a tour of duty in Uganda, said he was happy to see the progress of Uganda since he first came in the country in 1984. While receiving credentials of the new ambassador of Saudi Arabia to Uganda, His Excellency Jamal Mohammed Hassan Al-Madan, President Museveni said that Uganda has worked well with Saudi Arabia because it's also against extremism. He asked the new ambassador to invite investors from Saudi Arabia to come and invest in Uganda. He also told the ambassador that Uganda needs market for milk, fruits, maize, sugar, and other agricultural products which are in plenty in the country. President Museveni also received credentials of the new British High Commissioner to Uganda, Her Excellency Ms. Kate Harry. The new British High Commissioner commended President Museveni's efforts and contribution to peace building in South Sudan. She revealed that since they met recently in Jinja, there has been progress in Juba courtesy of the President's guidance. President Museveni welcomed Ambassador Kate and informed her that the challenge here are the elite who are greedy, especially the politicians. The 6 separate functions were attended by Ambassador Patrick Mugoya, Permanent Secretary, Minister of Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Arthur Kafero, and Ambassador Charles Sentongo, among others.
And city pastors from over 10 churches from in and around Kampala have this afternoon met and held discussions and prayers with President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni at State House in Entebbe. The pastors, who each command a following of over 20,000 Christians, were led to the meeting with the President by Mr. Balam Bargahara on an NRM supporter and promoter. Among the pastors that attended the meeting were Pastor Wilson Bugembe, Brother Ronnie Makabai, Pastor Mondo Mugisha, Pastor Ujingo Aloysius, Prophet Elvis Mbonye, Pastor Judith Sozi, Pastor Eunice Okoth, and Pastor Osinde, among others. The men and women of God during the meeting pledged their full support and that of their followers for the President and the NRM party in the forthcoming general elections. They prayed for peace during and after elections and put Uganda in the hands of God during this season. President Yoweri Museveni promised to support the organized groups in their churches who have formed SACCOs with an aim of starting up small business to improve on their household incomes. After the meeting, President Museveni and the pastors prayed together for peace.
Heads and also 50 of the old women who are above 65. They have sent you greetings. These pastors, they even sit in the soil that they feel, and they say they want even Bibles, just Bibles, and we even get Bibles. Last year, I remember this year, but I sent an invitation. I've been in the villages, especially. So I've been down there in Ginger campaigning and telling the pastors to at least support you to go forward for the next, for the next this time. They're going to tell their members to support you. In a period of 1 week, I've been able to let them know that they've got to support you to work through this campaign season. So I've got Your Excellency,
not even from a pastor.
I thank the Lord for this opportunity given to me. Your Excellency, a lot of pastors actually in villages have changed. I don't know who went and preached the gospel there otherwise, but we went through because we went through and told them what is and the freedom you've given us. And by the grace of God, they've been able to change. And they sent me with messages. I know because she's so busy right now.
Pastors, we have direct communication with our congregation, so we shall be able to explain to you and share the real reality between us and the congregation and what we are going through. But as a person, personally, I wish to
All right. Police has warned opposition members who have been allegedly planning to destabilize the country after elections. Police spokesperson Fred Enanga says many of these plans will be foiled.
With just 2 days left to the general elections, police has unearthed plans by some people to cause chaos after the elections.
Credible intelligence that the new presidential candidate, Honorable Kyagulanyi Ssentamu Robert, wants to go into hiding, possibly in one of the embassies, immediately after casting his vote, and thereafter alleged through his NUP networks and bloggers that he has been kidnapped by state operatives.
Enanga sounds a strong warning to Mr. Kyagulanyi and his supporters not to incite any form of violence among Ugandans.
Strongly condemn such tactics, and we issue a very strong warning to the candidate himself and all his campaign agents and perpetrators.
He continues to urge Ugandans, especially those in the diaspora, not to infringe on the rights of fellow Ugandans.
What even surprises us most is that these recordings are by Ugandans who are abroad, including mobilized bloggers from Asia, places like Dubai, in Europe, the US, and in South Africa.
The UPDF spokesperson Brigadier Flavio Bekwaso calls for peace among Ugandans during and after elections. She assures Ugandans of a safe and peaceful election.
We want to secure the country, we want to secure the borders, but we also want to secure the interior integrity of the country. 14 is just one-day event that is going to go away, but the country should remain intact. We should all focus our eyes on one uniting factor, which is Uganda, our mother.
All voters have been encouraged to follow the rules of the voting process that include not wearing party colors and not to take pictures of the ballot paper, among other restrictions. Jane Ramsha, UBC in Kampala.
Preparations are in high gear at Chambogo University, the official tally center for this year's general election. The place is all secured, tents erected and decoration ongoing. Tallying computers are also already in place, and some officials have been seen having dry runs on how to use the machines. Deputy Inspector General Police Major General Paul Lokech, accompanied by Chief Political Commissar of the Police, AIGP Asan Kasinje, paid a courtesy visit to the tally center.
We can deploy and hard it dismantle around.
We are hosting the Deputy Inspector General of Police at this National Tally Center for him to be briefed about the security of this place. Nothing else but the security of this place. We have vital installations here. We have places where people who are providing services are based. So he wants to be assured that the security of this installation at the National Tally Center is okay. But number two, he also wants to be briefed about the perimeter, the outside. This is the inner circle, but there is an outer circle, an outer ring. And he has given us instructions on what should be done. But also the other issue is about the communities that live and stay around this facility. We have done a lot of community policing with the people in the community, and he wanted to find out whether they have been briefed, whether they know what is going to take place here, and also the accommodation of people who will be working in here. Because as you may appreciate, they will work here, but they will because the work takes place 24/7. So they will be staying here, and therefore he wanted to see the physical developments and construction of where people are going to stay. And that is the issues that he wanted to be briefed about.
A presidential candidate for Democratic Change FDC Party, Patrick Oboye Muriat, has concluded his 60 days campaign program with a call to the citizens to exercise their democratic right of voting. Muriat, while in Ngora town, where he attracted a big crowd of people, urged people to keep at the polling station, to stay at the polling stations and watch every step by the Electoral Commission. He promised to ensure that youth will get jobs. Police and the army in Teso sub-region left him to campaign at a Toto trading center. Muriat told security agents that he will not allow to be intimidated, emphasizing that he was not provoking anyone by talking to citizens.
So that you may benefit from services of government, a government that is not going to discriminate between rich and poor. Vote for the King, so that you young people of this nation, young people of Uganda, young people of Rhoda may get employment. Vote for the King, so that we may put up good educational infrastructure and curricula that will target the market. Vote for the key, so that we may increase the budget of agriculture from 3% to 10% of the national budget. We also intend to pay to every family 100,000 shillings per month for 6 months.
And traffic police urges Ugandans to adhere to traffic guidelines that are put in place while traveling to and from polling stations to have a clear traffic flow. The Kampala Metropolitan Police Traffic Commander Norman Musinga says those that will not abide by the traffic laws will be charged.
Thursday, 14th of January 2021 will be the day Uganda decides who its next leaders will be. To ensure citizens' safety on the road, traffic police has issued guidelines for the public to follow during the elections.
Parking along the road is prohibited. Motor vehicles found abandoned by the roadside will be towed to the nearest police stations at the owner's cost and inconvenience. There will be restricted movement of trucks loaded with sand, stones, scrubs, garbage, and any kind of explosives along the roads in Kampala Metropolitan Policing Area.
There will be no more traffic flow along Kampala-Jinja Highway, and no processions are allowed on the roads. Also, motorists who will go against the laid down guidelines will be punished according to the law.
Fuel tankers will be prohibited from accessing the city center. So the people who deal in fuel, you will be inconvenienced because of the activities that will be taking place within Kampala here.
Meanwhile, only accredited people will be allowed access to the National Tally Center, and these will pass through Chambogo Road and Chambogo Western Gate as directed by the traffic police.
Not everyone will be able to access the Tally Center. I want to emphasize this point. I know very many people would want to go and gather around the Tally Center. That place will be restricted to only people who are accredited.
According to traffic police, any motorist that contravenes provisions of traffic regulations will be charged.
Police will block some areas and divert you to where to pass. Traffic police does this on the roads in the whole country. If you're directed where to pass, comply with that. You do the contrary, you're breaking the law. All offenders will be handled in accordance with the traffic law and regulations of Uganda. Traffic Act 1998.
All motorists are urged to comply with the guidelines for a clear traffic flow. Lydia Chomkama, UBC News.
President Yoweri Museveni has this Tuesday, we'll get to that in a bit, but President Yoweri Museveni has promised Ugandans a free and secure 2021 general election. The president, in his address to the nation before the country heads to the polls this Thursday, also warned that those who intimidate others should stop henceforth.
Therefore, don't fear anything. Go out and vote. You saw how the rioters were defeated in Kampala here. There's no threat we cannot defeat. Don't miss the chance to vote. You go out and vote. We shall defend you. We have got all sorts of means. Simple means and complex means. There's no part of Uganda where we cannot reach, if not on foot, but by air, using all sorts of modern technology. I urge all citizens to keep peace. Keeping peace is a duty. It's not a favor. Sometimes some youth, especially in Kampala area, they come and tell me how they are planning this, how their leaders were telling them to plan bad things. You should tell everybody that keeping peace is a duty, it's not a favor. If you try to disturb peace, you'll have yourself to blame. The security forces, following the law, are ready to deal with any troublemaker. Therefore, do not be tempted to break the law. There's also the phenomenon of cheating. Some of the groups have made it a habit of trying to cheat when it comes to elections. I want to tell you, Ugandans, that cheating in elections is treasonable. It is treason. We should be talking of maybe 7 or 10 million beneficiaries. And when one person benefits, remember there are 5 people around him. So if you say 1 million people have benefited, it means there's another 5 million who have also benefited. So the total is 8 million people. It is 6 million people. Now,
all right, President Museveni has also this Tuesday reshuffled resident district commissioners and their deputies with just a few days to the general elections. Uganda Media Center Executive Director, who also doubles as the government spokesperson of Wanapondo, made the announcement this afternoon. Even as these transfers take immediate effect, Wanapondo says all the RDCs are expected to first handle the election-related assignments before the move. They have, however, been advised to prepare their handover reports as soon as possible.
In Article 99 and 203 of the 1995 Constitution, really appointing, reshuffling, transferring, and of course in some instances disappointing some. Because of the impending polling, particularly the one of 14th, and as all of you know, RDCs are the chairpersons of security in the districts. The RDCs will conclude the presidential parliamentary elections on Thursday, while administrative arrangements for their allowances, transportation, transfer are being worked out, and then they will move. It takes immediate effect, but they will wait for administrative action, especially resources, to enable them move immediately after the elections. We want to appeal to RDCs to cooperate with those with whom they are exchanging stations so that the transfers are smooth. They must immediately prepare their handover report and accountability records for submission to the office of the RDCs.
And with only a day to the general elections, Buganda Kingdom has appealed to the Electoral Commission to hold free and fair elections. The Kingdom has also encouraged voters to turn up in big numbers on polling day to vote their leaders of choice. The message was delivered by the Katikkiro of Buganda, Charles Peter Maiga, during a media address on elections at Bulange, Mengo. Let's take a look.
Buganda Kingdom, through their Katikkiro, Charles Peter Maiga, has advised voters to actively participate in the Thursday general election by voting leaders of their choice.
It's important that we vote. And if any one of the 3 that you will vote on Thursday goes through, then hopefully the reasons why you voted that particular person will be worked upon. Hopefully that person will represent your views, either as president or either as a member of parliament. Hopefully some of your aspirations will be realized thanks to the person you voted. Conversely, if you don't vote, you don't have the moral ground to demand for social or economic transformation. You do not have any moral ground to demand good governance because you didn't cast your vote.
Maiga appealed to the Electoral Commission to organize a transparent election and ensure that vote counting is in the open.
We call upon the Electoral Commission to conduct free and fair elections, visibly free and fair elections. When the elections are held in a free and fair manner, the public accepts the outcome. And free and fair elections is not a matter of rhetoric. It must be visibly free and fair. For example, voting materials should be delivered to the polling stations on time, everywhere. Every candidate should have his or her agent at every polling station where they're registered. The vote tally should be done in the open and declared to the world to know. If the electoral process is free and fair, the public will accept the outcome.
Security agencies have also been called on to be professional and non-partisan.
It is extremely dangerous when members of the fourth estate are hindered from carrying out their duty. Their job is to gather the news and to relay it to us. They do not make the news. If someone doesn't want a particular incident to be relayed to the public, then that person shouldn't do it. The press shouldn't be hindered from accessing polling stations or polling events or political activities, because the country is entitled to the information about what is going on.
As the 14th January is the day set by the Electoral Commission for Ugandans to decide who their next president and members of the August House will be for the next 5 years.
Top members of the opposition in the presidential race have joined hands to preach unity as the country heads for polls this Thursday. The gesture by the political players, including Forum for Democratic Change, Alliance for National Transformation and National Unity Platform, has resolved to meet the Electoral Commission to express their dissatisfaction before the polls. The group, among other issues, cites that there are premature election materials dispatched to various districts, and this could challenge the voting exercise.
It is less than 72 hours for the long-awaited 2021 general elections. The key players in the race are in the final touches to tie the loose ends before Thursday, 14th January. Forum for Democratic Change, FDC Party, Alliance for National Transformation and National Unity Platform have regrouped to strategize on the road to victory. In a meeting held in Kampala, the three opposition candidates talked about the challenges faced during the campaign period that ended on Tuesday, 12th January 2021.
Needless to say that there's been wanton killings that we've experienced around Kampala and the other parts of the country.
The candidates allege imbalances in election materials distribution, saying there are some which were dispatched with no serial numbers.
So we want to demand, and I believe I'm joined with my colleagues here, that serial numbers for all ballot papers going to particular polling stations be issued immediately.
The opposition wing now calls for a meeting with the Electoral Commission to address their dissatisfaction as means to have a harmonized exercise on 14th January.
To impress it upon them that the number of pronouncements that they are making which are outside the law need to be rectified. One, for them to say that people should not appear on polling stations with cameras or phones. We need to have a transparent election. And for us as candidates, for us to be able to gather evidence.
Chagulanyi Sentamu Robert, who leads NUP, alleges that his home was attacked and several of his campaign team members have continued to be whisked to unknown locations.
More than 100 continue to languish in prisons Many arrests are ongoing. Last night, there were raids on more of my team members and some of the leaders of the National Unity Platform. Mr. Rule, David Wanika, also known as Selector Devi. And again this morning, my house was raided. 2 of my gardeners were taken away, and my security guard was beaten very, very badly.
However, Kampala Metropolitan Police spokesperson Patrick Onyango refutes the allegations.
That is not true because, one, Kyagulanyi does not allow the police bodyguards to enter his compound, whether during daytime or at night. So the territorial police devised the means of providing security to him, and they were erecting checkpoints on the routes that leads to his home.
Police have also responded to Bob Wine's driver, reportedly known as Katerega, who was shot last evening in areas of Chiseka Market.
The young man had bow and arrow, and our sister security agencies who are patrolling that area, he was trying to aim a bow and arrow to shoot at them. So they responded fast, shot him, but unfortunately passed on at Mulago Hospital.
Whereas the opposition wing has insisted on urging the voters to keep around the polling stations after voting. Onyango clarifies that guarding the votes is the responsibility of Uganda Police.
And we are going to do that work of protecting the votes. So please, after voting, go home, don't stay at the polling station. Those who are attempting to intimidate others not to go to vote, we have our intelligence on the ground, and we shall also handle those people who are intimidating voters.
Daniel Mugoya, UBC News.
Uganda People's Defence Forces UPDF's 3rd Division has cleaned Bugwere Road Market in Mbale City ahead of its Tarehe Sita celebrations scheduled for the 6th of February. The 3rd Division spokesperson Jude Wandera says they chose to clean the market as a way of strengthening relationship between Wananchi and the force.
The UPDF 3rd Division, headquartered in Moroto, also serves the regions of Bukedi and Elgon, respectively. The UPDF spokesperson for Bukedi and Elgon region, Lieutenant Jude Wandera, says they decided to engage in a cleaning exercise as a give back to the community.
Come up and do a few activities in relationship with our Wananchi. And this is like a give back to our people, our Ugandans who love us, who have moved with us, to ensure that we have a stable country. Today in Mbale, we have decided to come to Bugwere Market and Munkaga.
The vendors of Bugwere Road Market expressed gratitude to the force for choosing their market, but urged Mbale City Council to provide them with a standby garbage collection vehicle.
At least batuleetereyo okuwadde kikonteina kyetusobola okubeera nga tusuulamu buli lunaku ki akasaasiro n'essaawa zino tetulina wetusuula akasaasiro motoka ejja mu wiiki lumu oluusi wiiki zibitayo bbiri tuli awo n'akasaasiro.
I suggest that the government should provide more vehicles for Mbale City so that each division should have its own vehicle for collecting the garbage.
Mbale City is historically one of the cleanest places in Uganda, and upon acquisition of its current status, the authorities here have vowed to restore it to its former glory and also make it one of the to-go tourist destinations in Uganda.
And about $3 million have been earmarked for establishment of a blood bank in Soroti District, Teso Sub-Region. National Vice Chairperson for the NRM in Eastern Uganda, Captain Mike Mukula, says 18 acres of land have been secured for this purpose. He was addressing journalists at his home in Soroti on the progress of NRM campaigns in Eastern Uganda. Here are the details.
The money is already in Banco, in Treasury, waiting to be released.
It is neither a pledge.
So it's not just a question of a song, the money is there.
Nor a rumor.
And it's in the manifesto.
that Teso sub-region in eastern Uganda will host an ultra-modern regional blood bank. The facility will be established in Soroti, one of the main districts that make up Teso sub-region.
And they have allocated this money to 2 blood banks, Soroti and Arua. They had wanted to move this one in Soroti to Moroto, but we stood our ground and said no, because they said we didn't have land.
With funding secured from COVID-19 collections, 18 acres of land have been secured for the project.
Because Soroti Hospital cannot expand, so to put this ultra-modern blood bank required land. When you look at the referral hospital now, there is nowhere to place this ultra-modern equipment and infrastructure. So that's why they had wanted to transfer it to other parts of the country.
In October 2020, health authorities in Uganda reported a sharp decline in blood supply since the start of the coronavirus pandemic. This followed the closure of schools, where students are known to be the main blood donors. As a result, a number of people lost their lives due to blood shortage, a statistic which, unfortunately, Soroti could have contributed to. The new modern regional blood bank is designed to address this challenge.
So we have plenty of land for that purpose. The money is available, and as soon as the documentation and the title is transferred to Soroti Referral Hospital or to Ministry of Health,
Establishment of a blood bank in Soroti and other parts is part of government pursuit to improve health service delivery. To achieve it, however, requires development of more infrastructures. This is the reason why roads in the area are being developed in line with the 2021 to 2026 NRM manifesto.
the road between Soroti, Wera, through Katakwi to Moroto is being completed, fully tarmacked. The road between Kumi, Ngora, going through Agu, Brooks Corner, heading into Serere and Kagwara, 102 kilometers, is going to be tarmacked, and this is already in our manifesto on the immediate road projects to be tarmacked.
Captain Mike Mukula reiterated this at his home in Soroti as he addressed journalists and NRM chairpersons of Teso sub-region. The gospel of the NRM manifesto is what he has been spreading in eastern Uganda over the entire campaign period.
Areas that have not received water connectivity. Now that we have water from Aoja to Amuria via the areas of Teso College, water will reach there via Dakabela. They already have got water.
As campaigns close, NRM focus remains on poverty reduction, addressing youth unemployment, fighting corruption, equitable distribution of resources, and promoting the political integration of East Africa. With campaigns now officially closed, the ball is in the court of Ugandans to decide which political aspirant becomes what after Thursday, 14th January 2021. Henry Okurut, UBC.
Fort Portal City is both the seat of Kaurole District and Toro Kingdom. Fort Portal is the only town in Uganda with a church priest as its mayor, and it derives its name from a British soldier, Gerald Portal, who established it as a garrison in 1859. At the time of being elevated to city status, Fort Portal's population was estimated at 120,000 residents. Dawa Habimana reports.
That I've been the first interim city mayor of Fort Portal Tourism, and of course it was not something that was easy. But
Fort Portal is the biggest city situated in the Rwenzori sub-region. It is perched at the foothills of the snow-capped Rwenzori mountain ranges and is the gateway to various national parks and incredible tourism destinations. It is located about 163 kilometers northwest of Mbarara city, 296 kilometers west of Kampala, and is situated at an average elevation of 1,523 meters above sea level, with River Mpanga sitting through it, making it one of the coolest towns in Uganda. The city is green throughout the year, with trees and beautiful scenery provided by a larger-than-life tall Kingdom Palace, nestled on top of a hill, commanding a majestic view of the city and mountain Ngwenzori ranges.
I'm Reverend Kintule Mhanga, the interim mayor of Fort Portal Tourism City. And I'm actually blessed and also privileged.
The only city with an English name and a church minister as its mayor, Fort Portal, is indeed unique.
I'm humbled before God. I'm very humbled because it's not been my own making. You know, I'm the last mayor of Fort Portal municipality and also the first mayor of Fort Portal Tourism City. And that title goes to God. He is the Alpha and Omega. So he's just actually at...
The Reverend Wile Chintu Muhanga is pushing for infrastructure development of the city to make it more attractive, and says his council has gravelled and worked on Kabundere Market drainage system with first-grade maram.
I'm thankful now to the government of Uganda because 100 billion has been put aside for the development of the region, most especially in the market areas. And as for Portal Tourism City, we have benefited two markets and one abattoir. That is the Kabundaire market, which is going to cost us 6.5 billion, and also the Karago market, which is going also to cost us 6 billion, and also the city abattoir that is also going to cost us 5 billion.
I call upon people of Fort Portal to vote for visionary leaders, people who will implement, not people of words and dreams, but people who will make the dream of the city become a reality.
The biggest market in the city, Mpanga Market, was also recently built and furnished by central government.
Of course, my manifesto entirely is on infrastructure development. You know, we cannot be a tourism city with a poor road network. My focus is much on the road connectivity of Fort Portal Tourism City so that we can be in position to attract investors from all over the world. The moment they're here in Fort Portal, they should actually feel more home by having these good roads, the environment itself, the uniqueness of Fort Portal with our crater lakes and the weather itself, mention it all.
The tea industry accounts for 40% of employment in Fort Portal City, with several people either directly or indirectly employed by the sector.
5,000 smallholder farmers. Then most of these estate companies, we have around 5 big estate farmers. That is the Mukwano. Mukwano has around 3 factories around. He has Hima, he has Munova, he has Chigumba.
Having been introduced in the city by the colonialists, tea is one of the oldest cash crops in Fort Portal and indeed Kabale district, and is grown extensively in the neighboring districts within the Ngwenzori sub-region.
Sometimes we do cash, sometimes we pay them after 2 weeks, or sometimes we do monthly.
Several tea processing factories have sprung up as a result in the area to tap into the vibrant industry and own several plantations in Fort Portal.
That's why, as a strategic enterprise, tea, coffee, fruit, because those are for export and they're employing so many people along the value chain.
Happy Manadeo, reporting for UBC News.
All right, with that, we take a quick break. When we return, business news. You are watching News Tonight.
Shopping needs, come to Capital shoppers, we have a variety of items like foods, garments, cosmetics, and all sorts of drinks. Enjoy your shopping experience at affordable prices in our fully stocked branches in the following areas: in Tinder Station Road, opposite Makere Business School along Port Bell Road, Justice Street opposite Nakasero Market, and Garden City on Yusuf Lule Road. To all our customers and suppliers, we thank you for your continuous support. Stay safe, wash your hands, sanitize, and wear your mask always.
Now that we are preparing for elections, we would like to urge all Ugandans to exercise your right to vote and participate in the election peacefully. Remember, this country will be here even after the election. Please exercise your right to vote peacefully. I, Frank Rusa, I choose peace.
This message is brought to you by the Netherlands Institute for Multi-Party Democracy in partnership with Inter-Party Organization for Dialogue, iPod.
Thank you, Kapo. Hey, Kapo, I see you've really worked hard to get your business to this level. Who are you voting as a president in 2021?
You're not supposed to ask me such a question. It is my secret. I cannot even tell my wife, not even my children. But anyway, I'll vote for my business.
Sure. How do you vote for your business? Will it even be on the ballot paper?
It may not, but I'll tell you this. I'll vote for that one person who will guarantee the prosperity of my business, who will make my business not to be disrupted at all, who will ease my transportation and my clearance of goods from border to Kampala, and I'll vote to secure my business's future.
Don't gamble with your future and that of your beautiful country. Vote Yoweri Kaguta Museveni on 14th January 2021 to secure your future.
Grandma, tell us a story.
I have just the right story for you. The tale of a nation. When I was a young woman, your mother's age, I encountered the most liberating moment, witnessing the birth of a nation. As I stood looking above at the hung symbol of our liberty, I shed a tear.
Were you sad?
No. They were tears of joy. Enjoying our baby nation didn't take too many sunsets. Like any child learning to crawl with its newfound freedom of movement, many a thing went wrong. Abuse was inevitable, instability took course. Our newfound freedom seemed like a burden, and we wished for the better old days when we should have been looking forward.
You're telling that story again.
But it's such a sad story.
Here is the twist to the story. We had lost all hope to ever walk, and then the sun rose. This time with a warmth that prophesied change.
What kind?
Our nation stood on its wobbly feet and began to take steps of growth. It soon began to run. Unimaginable growth and development happened for our nation. A fully grown man we have become, a proud nation with lots of food.
That was a captivating story.
It doesn't stop there. It's time for bed.
Enjoy Bella Hibiscus juice and wine from the original producers K Roma Uganda Limited. You can get hibiscus juice and Bella wines in all shops and supermarkets all over the country, or find us at Mall Petrol Station Wandigia. For orders, call us on 0772 506155. Buy Uganda, build Uganda.
At Bella, enjoy our products, stay safe, wash your hands, wear your masks, keep distance, avoid crowds.
Welcome back to News Tonight. And now in business news, Frederick Etiang, a businessman, has today launched a COVID-19 business recovery model in Kampala. The purpose of this recovery model is to rejuvenate and protect businesses in the wake of the COVID-19 pandemic as a measure to sustain operations and profitability.
The model provides an opportunity to rethink, re-strategize and reconfigure businesses amidst the pandemic's effects.
So this model before you is going to enable micro, small, medium and large enterprises to thrive amidst the wake of COVID-19.
The model prioritizes financing, innovation, stimulated production of essential goods and services, human capital redevelopment plan, research and redevelopment.
I want to thank first our government, because this is a model that is tackling COVID-19. It's a business model that is to revamp our businesses. It's an antidote that is to help revamp all businesses globally.
Before you think of financing, which all businesses are doing now, requesting for extra finances, taking on stimulus, economic stimulus packages, first think of how do I develop a re-strategizing plan, how do I build the human capital in my businesses, and then how do I control against the infectious disease within the businesses.
Having compiled the model for a year now, Frederick Etiang is calling on governments, development partners, the business community, academia and non-state actors to embrace the models, adding on to his research to build an antidote for businesses that guarantee successful recovery amidst the pandemic.
MasterCard, a global online financial transaction service provider, has partnered with Airtel Money to enable over 12 million Ugandans transact online. The innovation is founded by Bank of Uganda's National Payments Policy Framework that governs the use of electronic financial services.
The virtual Airtel Money MasterCard allows non-bankable Ugandans access global goods and services markets efficiently at a cost of only 1,000 shillings per transaction.
So the Airtel Money MasterCard is linked to the Airtel Money wallet of the Airtel Money customer, meaning that your Airtel Money balance is the balance of your MasterCard or the amount to which you can pay online.
According to the Financial Inclusion Insights, nearly 46% of Ugandans have financial services accounts, with mobile money leading the way to financial inclusion, as more than 4 in 10 adults, accounting for 43%, have mobile money accounts.
Bank of Uganda is fully committed to supporting initiatives and products aimed at broadening not just the access, but the relevance of and affordability of the financial services being extended to those underserved segments of society.
So basically we are targeting the entire online community, people that are buying shoes and dresses online, by enabling them to be able to make online payments without the need for a bank account. It can now be done as long as you have an Airtel Money account.
Through this service, one can now trade on Amazon, boost social media posts on Twitter, Facebook and Instagram, buy or sell internet domains, and artists can now sell their work online and get payments directly to their mobile money.
So I wouldn't say that banks will be affected or taken out of business by innovations like these. I think that there is a huge portion of our population that can
or is not reached by the banks with the traditional banking models. Products like the Airtel Money MasterCard support to get services that were traditionally bank-led and make these services available to a wider range of the community.
However, since May 2020, Government of Uganda through the Central Bank is undertaking the National Payment Systems Act, which among other objectives aims to counter cybersecurity and money laundering tendencies that are usually facilitated by electronic payment innovations. Wadulo Makanold for UBC News.
And that does it for news tonight. Thank you for sticking with us throughout the hour. Elizabeth Nakakoni on sign language. I am Rhoda Ngonzi. For now, we'll leave you with the weather update with Semper Alex.
You're welcome. Here is the weather forecast from the Weather Center, only here on UBC TV with Semper Alex Kim. The southern sector of the country has been dealing with some lighter scattered rainfall, whereas the northern, it was sunny intervals but hazy conditions across most parts of the country. And by 9 a.m. this morning, some parts of the country reported rainfall, like Jinja reported 14.5, Mbarara 21.5, while Tororo reported 1.5 millimeters. The kind of weather we are having is mainly because of dry winds coming in from the Sahara into our region, the reason for the hazy conditions. However, we have moist winds coming in from the Atlantic through Congo forests into our region, the reason there is activity in the western part of the country. Otherwise, tomorrow morning, we do expect some light isolated showers across the Lake Victoria Basin. That will also include the southwestern of the country. Well into the afternoon, we do expect a pickup of wet weather activities across most parts of the country, though we expect it to be quite thundering in the southern sector of the country. And because of this, we do expect temperatures to range across the country between 22 degrees Celsius to 29 degrees Celsius, and that will be across Karamoja region. Otherwise, elsewhere across the globe, we are forecasting for Moscow, falling snow at a daytime high, well below zero at minus 12 degrees centigrade. And for London, as well as Paris, we do expect some rainfall activities. But Mombasa is expected to be at a daytime high of 30 degrees centigrade. That concludes it. Stay tuned to UBC TV.
By the name is Baluk Ibrahim. I'm a resident of Nyamambuka 1 Cell, Mpondo Ward, Mpondo Lubiria Town Council, Kasese District, Ukonjo West as the constituency. First and foremost, we thank God, the one who has enabled each